Law, I wanted to make this a quick video, like actually a quick video, because I don't really like talking about politics a lot, but I wanted to at least put out there like how I'm seeing everything line up with the whole Black Lives Matter, the police shooting stuff, the national conventions, um, the behind the scenes, like New World Order stuff, and just kind of lump it all together to see or to share how I'm seeing all this stuff line up, because it's looking more and more obvious as the story plays out. So like I said before, Bernie Sanders that was there to set the tone for a sort of socialist idea, to plant the seed of what so-called coming together could be and what it might sound like and feel like, to rally people emotionally, to get people locked into an idea of forward progress or forward movement or hope, like the other idea of Obama. So he was there to set that, and but they ultimately wanted to play out Trump and Hillary to create a lose-lose scenario, to where you have a criminal and somebody that you would totally not want to be leader of anything. Like you wouldn't even want him to run like a science project in high school or anything. Like he couldn't even be president of that. But so that's there. So whatever decision or whatever the case may be, they always play both sides. So this is where they are imploding both sides, the Democrats and the Republicans. At the same time, they also have to distract you and vest you into the program with emotions, and like lock it into your reality. So on the street version, or the so-called real world version, they have the black versus the white game being played out with the cops versus the people. This is why they have this sheriff on here, speaking so-called for the cops, in defense of the cops, and how they spin it like Sheriff David Clark crushes on Don Lemon over hateful Black Lives Matter. So it's the way that the media spins it that creates the division, personally and collectively. Then you have more of the race baiting stuff, where this guy is talking about, Steve King says, white people have contributed more to civilization than other subgroups. So YouTube chooses to put this on there. Like Yahoo chooses to put these trending stories on there. The trending idea itself is the psychological program. So there's no mistake that they put Michelle Obama on this upbeat, happy sort of like, these are the real nice people sort of thing, while they're talking about Black Lives Matter one video up, and cops being shot one video up, and then desensitizing with the whole joking of the Hunger Games thing with the Colbert Show, and distraction with the Suicide Squad, the movies. It's all a big program to implode the system, in order to bring in in order to bring in a new system, because they know the old system is already understood. It's mainstream to know what it's about. People are already understanding that it's full of shit, and they have to replace it with something. So in order to replace it, where they are still the so-called they are in charge of everything, still they have to make a lose-lose situation for you to create themselves as the superheroes, to bring in whatever it needs to be in. So how it's looking is that as long as you're emotionally charged by thinking that you have representatives for you and what you think with Black Lives Matter and the Obama kind of space, and then you have the bad guy as Trump and Hillary, and then you have the Bernie, who's already set the platform for like big change. So how I'm seeing it is the cops are being imploded so they can create a new system of governing. The Republicans are being the patsy to be the new version of politics, and Trump is out there to be the card of, well, we all really don't want Trump, so they make it your decisions. Like, everybody really doesn't want Trump. Like, some kind of mistake happened when he got elected. Or they pull the card of, well, Hillary can't be president because she's a criminal. Either way, they can play the card of, well, we don't want this. And they say we as in you, but they're speaking for you, saying that it's for you, always for you, but it's never for you. It's for a deeper agenda. So the Republicans are the patsies for the political scene. The cops are the patsies for the governing scene. And all of it is within the white supremacy, supposedly white supremacy implosion program. That's also, which links it in emotionally with you're seeing. This is why they have Black Lives Matter out there, completely run by the government and on so many levels to get people vested out on the streets and this whole thing. So they have these talk show hosts who make fun of it and desensitize you to the killings and everything as the program gets played along. So Colbert, Samantha Bee, all the late night people, they desensitize you. They have you just thinking like it's all okay. Like, let's mention it once, but let's just have a laugh. This is why all these late night talk show hosts are out there right now to do that. So how I'm seeing it is that they're gonna do their Republican convention. They're gonna keep stoking the fires of like, make it a movie. Keep stoking the fires of the race card. Keep playing the race game. And this is what you can see is going on here. They play like a movie version of the race game. So you really don't go into the depths of how deep this program goes. You won't go beyond the politics into the colonial system. You'll keep it on the political scale and think that this is the movie you should be vested in. So they won't go into that space. They'll always stop it. So how I'm seeing it is that as of now, what's happening is, well, this is an example of how we are always in a constant downward spiral. We get caught up in the fear programs, the insecurity programs, the guilt, the jealousy, the hatred, the revenge, the anger, discouragement, worry, blame, doubt, disappointment, overwhelmment, frustration, impatience, pessimism, boredom. That's what the news does. That's what politics does. That's how they play you emotionally to keep you down so they can bring you up eventually. So this would be an example of like Bush, and then the left side would be an example of what Obama was when he came in. So he came in with the contentment, the hope, the optimism, the positive expectations, the enthusiasm with a black president, the passion of campaign Obama, the joy, the knowledge, the empowerment, the freedom, like all these words that keep you in this upward spiral. So they play you with the downward spiral of, it used to be the downward spiral of Republicans and the upward spiral of Democrats. That's what happened with Obama and Bush. Now, the whole downward spiral is politics as a whole, the system as a whole. So it's Democrats and Republicans. And the upward spiral will be whatever it is that they're trying to bring in as the new hope program, the new governing program, which will be centered around some kind of socialist agenda, which is why Bernie was out there to do that, which will include restructuring of the police in some sort to create some kind of idea of change. They will stop televising the deaths of, in relation to the police and the police stuff that goes on, and start telling more stories of like how great everything is from changing and the new system, that whole thing. I don't know how it's gonna go down, but I still really feel like Obama's gonna play some kind of key part in this new whatever, whether they keep him in office or change it so where he pretty much has to stay in office, which makes sense with the whole Hillary criminal thing and the Trump not at all thing. Like, people, if you like really think about it, or if people really had a choice, people would be voting for Obama again, at least for another however many years, just to avoid Trump, just to avoid Hillary. Like, that's the card that's being played right now. And when you are placed in a no choice situation, then you will agree to whatever kind of new program gets put out there in front of you to believe. Meanwhile, as long as they have somebody for you to blame, or feel emotionally vested in how jacked up it is, then you will buy whatever kind of hungry man TV dinner they put in front of you, and you'll just eat that genetically modified shit up, and just accept whatever program comes up just because you have no other options, you have no choices. So that's how I'm seeing this whole political scene right now. It's being played out in the White House and on the streets. They might pull in some alien stuff to make it even more like we need to come together, or they might pull some flat earth stuff later on, or whatever it is. It's a distraction from the ultimate, like, consciousness space that everybody already exists in. They won't even go into that's going too much into like the university system. They keep it on these shallow layers of the emotional, the lower bodies, that space, in order to keep people into that control group. So this is basically all I wanted to share with this quick video. The whole Trump stuff, why he's out there, why criminal Hillary is out there, why Obama is being played, or they're getting ready to play that card, why he's being called to speak more in relation to the Black Lives Matter, and he just happens to be the first black president. Like, he hasn't spoken on race relations or anything on that level. So if he says anything, they can play that movie however they want, whether they want to play it on the downward spiral or they play it on the upward spiral. They play both. They can do whatever they want in order to tell the agenda story that they would like to have played out. That's exactly what's happening right now. And the mainstream media is also being imploded to bring in this new thought process of, how things should be, or how they, whatever this new program is about. So that's basically it. So thank you for joining me. Until next time, from all my relations, peace, love, and harmony.